Welcome back to the Monmouth Moms podcast. We are here in Homedale, New Jersey at Bellworks today, still in January, which I feel like every year it's like January is endless.
Endless, but also like this.
But this year, so I didn't ever really feel that way about January. I also winter's not my favorite,
Same.
but this year I don't know what happened. There's been this whole shift as like moms in general. I don't know if you agree. Like planning things for much further in advance, camps, like everything, right? But then also like I've never been busier. And then like I think part of it is work related, but just like the nonstop like go.
Agreed.
Like the week, the activities, the meet,
The broken promises to your children.
Yes,
totally.
It's just been nonstop. But somehow we're still in January, so
yes, but the days go by like this.
They
but
do.
It seems like maybe there's 60 of them.
Yeah.
In the month instead of
right
the standard amount.
So we were talking a lot about like the past few podcasts about resolutions and goals and New Year's stuff, and I had talked about, I guess I was talking about mostly about like having resolutions related to like reading more. I was really trying, which I have been doing actually. I have stuck
That's
to that.
impressive.
I've been reading at night, like instead of like being on Instagram. Basically.
Like how many pages?
Like I've read 2 books in the last 2 weeks.
Stop it.
I know.
That's impressive.
I know.
Like adult books.
Adult books. And I've been making my daughter do it too, and she's like, she's at that age where it's like, they're not teens yet or preteens where they're like, oh, like stop making me read.
How old is Grace again?
8.
8.
So she's
yeah.
like,
she's on the cusp.
Those like I think the glory years in parenting,
Yeah.
like 6 to 9, or like.
Yes, agreed. 10 is the cutoff point.
Oh yeah,
that's what I've noticed anyway.
Yeah.
The eyes start to roll
Right.
involuntarily.
Yeah, I mean we get the eye roll with Grace a little bit, but it's like it's a little, it's a little
subtle.
bit easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so thank you so much for coming on today, my friend.
Yes.
We know each other very well. Stacey Donadio. She's a local real estate agent and mom in Monmouth County. If you've been following Monmouth Moms for a while, you've probably seen her on all kinds of different things.
Cameo.
Yeah, you cameo. How did we meet? I guess through Monmouth
I bought
Moms.
advertising.
Yeah.
I wanted to do the the Meet a Mom.
Okay.
And
so
then
this was early on, like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like it's been 4 years.
Well, I'm going into my 5th year with Monmouth Moms.
So yeah,
that makes sense.
I think you had just gone solo.
Right.
Or maybe not. I don't remember. But I know that we did the Meet a Mom, and then we chatted a few other times for different packages, and then you called me because you were looking to move.
Right. And what's so funny is, like, how long did it... We were, like, friends and, like, hanging out and stuff before, like, going to dinner, before we realized that we, like, grew up in the same town.
Correct. Correct. And, like, you knew my brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was very funny.
Yes.
And like and it's funny because my best friend and, like a handful of other friends all knew you.
Yes.
Like exactly. And they're like, oh, you're like.
It's a small circle.
Yeah. Like they would see ads on Monmouth Moms. They're like, oh, how do you know Stacey? And I'm like, how do you know Stacey? How did we not ever know each other?
I like pop up everywhere.
You do.
I do. I'm like a mole.
So, well, thank you for coming on today.
Thanks for having me. I can't believe it's taken this long to get our acts together.
I know.
We've had to postpone so many things.
Right.
I haven't seen Kate in person other than your last event that I did, the October one.
No, I went to your event.
Oh, that's right.
And,
see, I black out.
November?
Everything.
December.
Yeah. Yes, the Christmas one for Turnkey.
Right.
Yeah, but it's nice to get it together, even if it's in work.
Even if
right?
it's forced.
It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
You have to be here.
I have to. That's it. That's how we have to do it.
I know.
Put it in the calendar, and then you can't cancel it.
That's true.
That's work mom life.
That is. So, so for those that don't know, like myself, tell me a little bit about where you're from.
I'm from Hazlet, New Jersey.
Same.
Same. Born and raised. Went to St. Benedict, where daughter
Gracie
goes. Yeah.
So you were born born in Riverview?
No, I was actually born in JFK. I don't know why my mother chose to drive from Hazlet in labor, where she was not medicated also, crazy woman, up to JFK in Edison to birth me. I know.
Maybe that's where her
bold
doctor
move.
went, I guess.
Bold move.
Right?
I think they had only lived in Hazlitt for like 6 months, and she had,
her roots
so I
were-
think like everything was like up that way.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I love Mom. I'm a Monmouth County gal.
You
I love
are.
it. Yeah.
You are Miss Monmouth County. Like, you know.
I love it.
Yeah, you know a lot.
I can't leave. Every time I've thought about it, I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
The furthest I went was I did a stint in Philadelphia for college, but I commuted. Like a crazy
that's what my
person.
husband always says. He's like, you'll never leave Monmouth County. I'm like, well, I kind of can't now.
Right.
Like, obviously.
Yeah, you're the face of Monmouth County. You cannot leave.
He's always talking about like moving to South Carolina or even just like moving to further South Jersey.
couldn't
I'm like,
do it.
how am I supposed to do that?
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
And it's just the whole scene. That's not even a scene here. It's just so comfortable and welcoming, and I don't know. I love it. Maybe it's because I know nothing else.
Well, I don't think that. I mean, I think there's just so much to offer. Like, you know, the city is, and you know, could be
So
45
close.
minutes away. If there's no traffic, you know, you can go skiing, you can go to the beach, and you know, depending
All
on
of
where
it.
you live.
Well, the beach is what you know.
Yeah.
That's what's got me. I need my beach.
And the schools are great, and there's a lot of upside. So,
Yeah.
So you went to St. Ben's. And
I went
then
to
you
St. Ben's, Red Bank Catholic.
Okay.
Oddly enough, my husband was a senior when I was a freshman. We did not know each other.
Oh, funny.
I know, right? And the school was
He
not
a
that
senior.
big.
Okay, that was
Yeah.
my first husband too.
That's
Yeah,
so
same
funny.
thing, yeah.
Oh, he was my age first.
Yeah, and you guys knew each other too.
Right. So crazy.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went to Monmouth University, but I don't think I was ready. I was still young. I turned 18 that September. Like, I just was not really.
There was no gap year back then. It was
It was not cool. It was like, you're a loser if you take a year off.
You better put pedal to the metal. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I then took my own gap year and I went to Europe for.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. But I didn't. Well, I never told you the story. No. I probably shouldn't share it, but I will. So I went to Ireland and we were supposed to spend a month in Ireland. Okay. It was a friend of mine and I. And then we were going to go, you know, bop around on the Eurorail. I had gotten my Euro pass and everything. I was super psyched. And we were staying in hostels because we were broke in like 19. And I was unaware when we got to County Cork that the hostel we were staying in was also being used as a place to house Serbian refugees.
Oh.
Didn't realize, like didn't even see anybody there. But then I started itching at night, like uncontrollably, like scratching till I would like bleed. And I went to the hospital there, and they were like, you have bacterial skin infection. They got me all freaked out.
Oh.
So I hop on a plane. I do like 12-hour layover in Germany. I come home. I walk into my dermatologist's office, and he's like, those are flea bites.
Oh.
And I was like, really?
You left for that.
I left for that. I could have just left the hostel.
I've been fine. Let them heal. Oh,
but
my
it's
God.
okay. It's all right.
Well.
And everything happens for, things you don't know and things you never want to know. I definitely never want to know that.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that must have been fun.
It was super fun. It was more like not being on a vacation, but really like we were trying to get jobs for, it was a good experience.
My stepmom came here from South Africa. She grew up in South Africa till she was 18.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, she knows how to speak some Afrikaans, but
That's cool.
Yeah. And she came here. Well, no, she did not come here when she was 18. She did the same thing. She traveled all through Europe, lived in hostels, worked like her way, and that was like
Cool.
I mean, a lot of Europeans do that. I think still now.
Oh yeah.
And then she came here. I want to say she was 19 to 20-ish as an au pair, which also so many people do.
Yep.
And was working, for a family up in Bergen County, and met my dad at a bar. And then it ended up staying.
Awesome.
So my dad was, I guess, like newly divorced from my mom, and me and my sister were little. So she's been here since she was 21.
Very cool.
And then became a citizen and stuff. But yeah, it is. It's, she always talks about that as like a great experience. And I don't know a lot of people who like do it, even like in college students. Like it's nice to go study abroad.
My nephew he didn't study, but so he is like a budding actor, filmmaker.
Okay.
And he just went with his friends because he worked at Donovan's Reef like all summer, made gobs of cash.
I know.
Decided,
I know,
same. Like it's like
put it on the calendar.
they just like take money and like shoving it in their pockets.
Yeah.
But they decided they were going to go. They hung out in Germany for a couple weeks and they jumped around in hostels.
Oh, I love that.
The hostels are cool because you're getting people from all different countries are coming and hanging out and staying. And it's not just young people. Like you're getting like older travelers, and some of them were really nice, and some of them house refugees.
Wow.
It was like $3.50 a night. Like $3.50.
Oh, I was like, that's not good, Stacey.
No. Yeah, and all I got was these fleas. No, $3.50 a night.
Wow.
Like, and shower. You had access to their kitchen. It was cool until it wasn't.
Right. Interesting.
You know.
My sister did that. Well, she studied abroad in London, and then I think she like traveled a little bit. I don't really know.
Yeah.
She ended up coming home too. So.
Yeah. It happens.
So you're home, and
yes. So now I'm home, and I went to Brookdale, and I got hooked on fashion merchandising. I was like, Dad said I'm going to be a fashion merchandiser.
Okay, I could see it.
So I did, but then I realized fashion merchandising it's pretty boring.
Oh, really?
The retail space is not for me. I'm not a retail
same.
girl.
Me
Like,
neither.
I love to shop.
I love to shop, but don't keep me there.
Don't put me on the other side.
Yeah.
Don't make me fold tiny T-shirts.
No.
Don't want to do it.
Don't.
Being a buyer, I realized that was also pretty horrible. You sit in a tiny little room, and you go through books. It's not like Rachel from Friends.
You're not like,
you're not at fashion shows.
That's pretty.
Yeah, I want that. Let's buy 3 lots of that. It's not that
Okay.
at all. It's catalogs, and it's very dull.
Okay.
So I abandoned that. But while I was there, I had taken an interior design course.
Okay.
So then I said, all right, I'm going to take a few more classes. I transferred down to the Art Institute of Philadelphia, where I just like fell in love with interior design.
Oh.
But the commute was killing me.
Yeah.
Because I was working also I was bartending at the Globe in Red Bank, which, shout out to the Globe, always be my favorite place.
I was there over the holidays.
It's Old Faithful.
It is very
it's Old
reliable.
Faithful. Yeah, it's very consistent.
The bathroom is just
Always the same.
Same.
always. Burgers are the same when
Yep.
people are the same.
People are the same.
But they were great to me. I worked there forever. I met my husband there. They gave us full medical and dental. We paid like half, and at the time it was nothing. I think it was like $25 a week. So it would have been really foolish for me to leave that. So I was like, I'll commute. I'll keep my full-time job. I was in my like mid-20s at this point. So I had energy. I'd probably die now.
Wait, you met your husband there?
I did.
Okay.
Which is funny. I'll tell you that story later. So I stayed there until I was so fried. And then I ended up going back to Brookdale and getting enough credits to get my degree in interior design, which I loved. I mean, I did that until I had Aiden in 2010. I think I had him.
Okay.
He's 12 now. Yeah, the math makes sense. 2010. And then I stopped working. Then we sold our house in 2014 after we had Aiden and Liam.
Okay.
And it was during that process that I was like, I think I like real estate. Like, this seems like a very cool job.
Yeah.
Like, at first I was like, I get to get dressed up and like go show houses. Like, total opposite of the world I was in, being a mom of 2, under the age of 2.
Right.
And then it just became, the more we were doing it and I was seeing all the moving parts, I was like, this is really like fascinating, because I mean, fascinating might be a little overkill.
Well, no, fascinating to you.
It
like
was
you had
fascinating
such an
to me.
interest into interior design and probably, just like architectural design and, that
seeing
was
the potential in
yeah.
spaces.
Right.
And then really getting to help people. I mean, homeownership is not, the road to it is not easy.
No.
I mean, we all know, we've all been there trying to, whether get a rental, buy your first home. I mean, even sell a house and then try to buy one with a home sale contingency. I mean, there's so many, which is like a nightmare.
Yeah.
So I really found it fascinating, and I had made a promise that as soon as we were done having our last baby, because we weren't sure if we were done yet, that I was going to go and get my real estate license. And then fast forward a couple years, in 2016, we had Quinn. And within, I guess, a year, I had signed up for the Jean Mulroy School of Real Estate.
Okay.
And I banged that out in 2.5 weeks.
Right.
And then I procrastinated taking the test for 2 months, and I just studied I shouldn't say I procrastinated. I studied every single night, because I knew that if I failed it once, it would just totally
destroy you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I passed it.
I took that test too. And
It's
somehow
hard.
I passed. I have no idea how.
I don't either. I honestly got up from the table and went outside, and I was like, just tell me I failed.
Yeah.
And then don't tell me by how much.
But when I took it, if you failed, you knew right away on the thing.
See, well, I don't know. I didn't fail, so I guess.
But they actually had to tell you if you passed. Well, it was very weird. But anyway,
Oh,
yeah.
all right, good to know.
Yeah.
Now, because I was like.
This was also in 2016. It was a long
Yeah,
time ago.
no, we were the same.
Maybe it was like a different center or something. I don't know.
PSI. I'll never forget it. It gave me so much anxiety.
Yes.
But no, here we are, all these years later.
Yes.
And I love it.
You do love it.
Mm-hmm.
So you work for who?
Century 21 Thompson & Co.
Okay.
I have great brokers, Gary Thompson, Maureen Yetman, and River. I'm going to mess up his last name again, Giberson. Giberson. I don't know. Sorry, Riv.
Great guy.
He's a great guy. It's a great group. This is my final resting place,
Final
I think.
destination.
Yeah, I love it. I can't say enough. They're super supportive. They're so smart, and they're so well respected in the industry, which is really, it goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will say, from working with you during COVID, right, when we were looking for a place, and not really knowing each other as well, obviously, as we do now. So
Right.
this was, it was 2020.
Yeah,
right?
we were like new to the friendscape.
And you really do like go above and beyond, and that's not like saying that because we work together and we're friends. Like we're genuinely caring about and the littlest things that would not have made you a huge commission, or just like different.
Right.
You really like go out and put like a lot of effort into helping people, which is. I can relate to that. I personally, when I did real estate, it was not my bag. I actually did commercial real estate, and even that was it was just brutally difficult, and it was just not something that I think I was passionate about.
Right.
But when I sold, I've talked a lot about this, but I sold wine for a long time, and I really enjoyed it because I felt as though I worked with a lot of mom and pop, liquor stores and wine shops, and the owners, rely on a lot of the reps to find them brands that they're going to make higher margins on, because a lot of the big brands they have to give away and stuff. So it's cutthroat. It's a very competitive business, and wine is just, and that whole the beverage industry in general has just become such a flooded market with different brands and stuff. So
Overwhelming,
and also very competitive. They're always competing with the people down the street. So it was like a passion of mine to find brands that for good prices, that were good quality, and also that they could sell for a lot. So I always felt like I was helping them, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But it's not just about real estate is not just, or sales in general. No. It's not just about making as much money as you can. It is also they say that
the relationships.
Yeah, and
look at your relationships from wine sales still serve you today.
Yeah, and that emotional paycheck that you get, it's gratifying. It's
absolutely
that you are doing something good, that you are going out into the world and really you have a purpose outside of providing for your family, which is also a very big purpose.
It's a very big purpose.
Very
biggest purpose.
So big. It's so big.
No, but you're right, and it does. It's nice to have that win. It's not just the win for you. I always say this: I could make money so much easier in so many different careers.
Yes,
there's different paths. Sales is hard.
So hard.
And I mean, it's competitive.
Yep.
You're competing for
ad
clients,
space,
and you provide great service to them, and they're grateful for it. And I mean, I just really try to provide a positive experience and be completely transparent throughout the process and educate along the way. And I don't always know everything, but I have surrounded myself with experts.
Interesting.
So
we'll talk a little bit about that too, about the networking and stuff.
That's important.
So during COVID, obviously the market changed a lot, right? And
yes.
I'm assuming it was kind of your first time experiencing such a shift in the market, right?
Yeah.
And people were, and still are, but I think in the beginning, obviously you couldn't find a rental to save your life. You couldn't find a house to save your life while everyone was, submitting, multiple offers over asking.
Cash, bags of money.
Cash, yeah. I don't know where all the cash is coming from.
It's still here, though. It's here.
Still here.
I haven't found my bag, but when I do, I'll split it with you.
Good. So what was that like navigating through all of that?
Well, it was multi-layered because we had kids home from school.
Right.
So I blacked a lot of it out, but Quinn is my youngest, so he wasn't even in preschool because I couldn't get him there legally and leave the other two at home on Zoom.
Right.
So a lot of times the three of us were in my car, and at that time I had my super cool minivan. So they were on their iPads on their Zoom classes, and Quinn was probably just rotting his brain on like YouTube.
Like all the kids.
And
were.
all the kids. And I just drove around and showed houses then with my Lysol and my gloves.
I remember. And you would like literally come. Like if I found something, you would be like, okay, we can
Let's
go.
go.
Like you just go.
What are you going to do? People still needed housing.
Right.
So that
Really
never
needed
stopped.
housing.
I mean, more so than ever, especially if you lived, Jersey City, Hoboken, or really anywhere in the city.
Yeah.
You didn't have any outdoor space.
Yep.
And what you did have was now being filled with trash, and like it was just not an ideal living situation. So everyone's coming down and they're desperate, and that's terrible. I would never want to be in that situation. So I would throw my kids in the car and we would drive around, and sometimes we'd have success and sometimes we wouldn't. I mean, I would probably say out of every 15 offers I wrote, one got accepted.
Okay.
And I'm not alone in that. I mean, I'm sure if you polled the majority of agents, and then you had all the new agents coming in.
Because they were changing jobs. There was the, the whole shift in,
Well, now I'm working remote, so I can do this as a side hustle.
Right.
And now that they're falling out.
Okay.
Because now the market's balancing a little bit. I mean, I'm not, despite what everyone is hearing, nationally and globally, Monmouth County's market is not dropping out. Like we're seeing a lot of 20% drop in home sale prices, and that's not, I mean, yes, that might be nationally,
right?
Like as an average, but you have to look at each market
like not desirable
individually.
Locations, basically.
Or not even that. I mean, like a lot of the Midwest, those areas, if you're not outside of a major city, you're seeing a drop off because that's what people were coming out of the city, and they're still coming out of the city.
Right.
But in Monmouth County, we're in this lovely little pocket where it's just desirable. People want to live here.
Yeah.
Like you said, we're centrally located. We're the beach. We're, you go out west. You're close to everything.
Right.
You're not that far from Philly. You're not that far from New York City. DC's 4.5 hour drive. We're very close to everything. People just want to be here.
Yeah.
And now Netflix is opening up, and I mean, wild.
I'm not apprehensive.
It'll be interesting.
I'm interested to see how it changes the landscape of Monmouth County. I wonder if it'll be majorly impactful, if it will, I'm just curious to see what's going to happen.
Because where are they going to put all these new luxurious homes?
Yeah.
We don't really have any more space. I don't know.
We're gonna have to build up.
Like Jetsons.
Although I was in Pier Village yesterday. I hadn't been down there. We're doing getting my.
Well, you mean Miami North?
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
And it's funny. I was getting my picture redone for the website, and I've worked with a photographer. Shout out to Sea Salt and Honey, Nicole Todd. She's the best.
Oh yeah, she does nice work.
Yeah. And I write a lot about what's happening in Pier Village for the website, but I unfortunately just don't get, I don't have a lot of time to go to
hang out.
Yeah. But it looks so nice, and there's a lot of new stuff down there, a lot of new places to eat. So I'd like to go back but I had no idea how much they built.
The high rises are everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
And they're selling.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not. And they're 1.4, 1.8.
No
yeah. NBD. It's fine.
I got it.
It's crazy. Yeah. And the taxes are $20,000.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some of them are so high with the tax rate. It's crazy.
Is that the same in Asbury or no?
No.
No.
I mean, but it's a different animal in Asbury too. It's a whole different scene, a whole different vibe.
Right.
I mean, who knows what'll happen?
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't. I mean, it's a lot. Long Branch is a lot right now.
Wow. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
So the interest rates are going down. What's the deal?
I don't know.
I keep hearing different things.
It's I feel like it's a day by day thing.
Yeah.
So they were up, in the sevens. Depending on your credit score too is going to really determine where you lie right now. I have one client that just got approved a little over 7. I have some that were, in the mid 6s. My lender friend, a good friend of mine, Mike Mercia with Advisors, he is telling me that in the summer we should be seeing them come down to where he'd like to see them in very low 6s, 5 range.
Oh.
Which would be awesome, but also with the lower rates, you're going to bring in more buyers that have dropped out or taken a break right now. So
Yeah.
you're just, I think, I could be wrong, but it's my prediction you'll see a feeding frenzy again. And we're already, I mean, I wrote 3 offers over the weekend, and I got rejected on 2, and I'm waiting to hear on the 3rd.
Yeah.
Multiple offers.
Right.
I mean, they're still here. It's still happening.
But wouldn't you like prefer, or at least, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, to have a rate, like go in at a rate that's higher, but at least like that way the price of that, you can't change the price of the house.
You can't change the
You
price.
can refinance.
Correct.
So, I don't know.
Correct. I'm not a big fan of like date the rate, marry the house, just because that doesn't apply. It's not a blanket for everybody. Like, not everyone is going to be able to date the rate. Like, and what if the rate doesn't come down for 2 or 3 years?
Right.
I mean, we're going on, predictions, but that's not a steadfast fact. Like, we don't know that that's going to happen. We're just thinking based on, information provided and what the Fed's saying that, like, yeah, maybe they'll come down, and they probably will.
Right.
But it's hard. It's like pretty irresponsible to just tell a buyer, no, it doesn't matter that the rates, like, you're getting 7.5%, because you can refi, in October. Because
Right.
they might not be able to refi in October. So if in their head they're thinking, I just have to get from February to October paying at the 7.5%, and then it's going to be fine, not very responsible.
Interesting. So what?
And
so,
it's not free to refi either. I mean, that cost you a couple grand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you have, I'm sure, a lot of people that are, interested in buying, right? That are looking for, have a house in mind. Maybe it's not urgent. What are you telling like new clients of yours that, are working with you, like what to prepare for? And anyone out there who's like thinking about buying or selling right now or buying for the first time, like what are like kind of the 3 things to really like keep in mind as you go into this?
So it's super important to set expectations.
Right.
Depending on where they're looking. I mean, some towns are not as desirable, or I shouldn't say desirable, aren't as hot right now as other towns.
Okay.
So we need to understand that you're not getting a deal. Stop listening to all these major news outlets. I'm not saying they're wrong, but they're not local. They're
Right.
not focused on Monmouth County's market. So when they're telling you that the market's going to bottom out, that might be true in Idaho, but that's not true in Red Bank.
Right.
So you're not.
Is Red Bank like
Red Bank's still hot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know.
The houses, I just keep seeing them like flipped and I mean, I
Yep.
don't know if they're buying and staying there or they're flipping them, but it's just changed a lot.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah.
And I think like it's good.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
like it. Yeah.
Love it.
And I like the new condos that they're putting in are really cool too. Like that whole rail situation.
Where is that?
It's over by the train.
Oh,
It's cool.
I don't get out much.
I have
seen
top secret news for you later, but it's a really cool modern building. I think it's a good addition to that side of town too.
Interesting.
Right
You
by the
lived in
train.
Red Bank too for a long time. That's so nice. I always wanted to because you can just like walk into town.
So fun.
It is so fun.
I had all these like visions of me riding my bike with a basket on it. I never did it once.
You could technically, well, I guess you couldn't.
I
walk.
do. In Little Silver, I do.
Yeah.
I ride everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a basket now.
You have like a good location to
Yeah,
be able to.
I love it.
To get bop around in the peninsula, as
In the-
they say.
the
Why
peninsula.
is it called that? Do you know?
I don't know. Isn't like New Jersey a peninsula? Like,
Um,
aren't we a peninsula
I don't
state?
know. Don't ask me facts.
I think we're
I'm
like a
terrible.
peninsula within a peninsula.
My daughter asks me like questions at school sometimes, and I just like I'm always like usually sometimes I'll know, and like most of the time I'm like I don't know. So I think she
Let's
just
Google that.
I think she just thinks I'm like stupid. She's like, don't ask mom. She's a moron.
I can't.
Anything to do with like geography, I'm terrible. Anything to do with like
I know.
history, I have no idea because I never paid attention to history.
I know. It's bad.
And she's so into history.
I
She's like,
defer to Liam.
yeah, she's like, did you know that Eisenhower's wife? I'm like, oh,
What? I don't even know who Eisenhower's wife
yeah.
is.
Wow,
It's good
so
for her.
Amazing.
She's so smart. She's a Catholic school education.
I know.
It's good.
Oh,
Same
terrible.
fence. But
So-
yeah, I don't know why they call it the peninsula.
Okay.
I mean, I think it is a peninsula. We're surrounded by like water on several sides.
So the peninsula we're referring to is what they call
Red Bank,
Red Bank, Little
Shrewsbury,
Silver.
Little Silver, Rumson, and Fairhaven.
Yeah.
And maybe Oceanport slides in there. I don't know.
But so it's like kind of just a term that locals came up with, I guess, or is it like a real estate thing?
To be completely honest with you, the first time I heard it was about a year after I moved to Little Silver, and I was added to the Peninsula Buy Sell Swap site.
Yeah, and you've told me it's like awesome.
It
Yeah.
is awesome.
Right.
But yeah, that's and I was like, oh, So we're the peninsula area.
Right.
And then people are like, in the peninsula area, where can I find a blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, I guess this is where we live. We're in the peninsula.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Very, very fancy.
Very fancy. So you have 3 kids, 3
I do.
boys. When you're not going crazy working all over Monmouth County, what do you like to do with them?
Well, we're big beach people in the summer.
I know you are.
We are like, we're diehard. We need to be there. I ski, they snowboard.
Okay.
So we like to do that. We haven't gotten there yet, but it's also like not really
I know,
winter.
it's like not winter. Like, what is happening?
I know, I think it's going to be like 50 again next
I know,
week.
it is. Yeah.
So, but that's what we really like to do.
Maybe that's why it's like so busy, because it's like we're not like
People
bogged
think
down
it's
with-
spring market.
Yeah. It's like the weather. Like, it's not 0 degrees and snowing, so
Yeah.
we're like, all right, let's just go.
Yet everyone's still sick,
Yeah, that's true.
which is like so annoying.
Yeah,
So
it is, yeah.
we avoid germs. I like to do that as a family.
Okay.
We're failing miserably. But really, in the winter, we're homebodies.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. I've always been that way too, but I just, like I said, it's just been like
Yeah.
uber busy. So it's interesting.
good.
One of the boys does swim, right?
Oh, Aiden.
Yeah.
Yes. So Aiden's a swimmer, and Liam's my soccer player, and Quinn is to be determined. He really would his sport is cuddling with me on the couch at the moment. No, it's great, but I'm also like, come on, like, we got to do something.
Right.
Swim takes up a lot of our weekends.
Yeah.
So it's usually me and Aiden, and then Mike has the other 2, and they do whatever it is. I don't even know what they do. They have boy time.
Boy time.
Yeah.
So your husband is, super helpful and
Yes,
he's
he's very handy.
handy. So you can, manage your career, and he has his.
Yes.
But real estate, like, you have to put in a lot of weekends, a lot of evenings,
Yes.
to show houses, to work with clients.
It's not traditional.
Networking, obviously, we'll talk about that in
Yeah.
a minute. But what would you say to like women or moms who are looking to get the real estate license because they think, it's going to, make a lot. Yeah.
Oh, because you can make your own schedule?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
Right.
No. Fake news.
Fake news.
But
there's also some benefits to it as well, right?
oh,
So-
totally. I
right.
mean, you're in control of how many clients you have in both directions. I mean, if
Okay.
you're not going out there and hustling, you're not working.
Right.
It is flexible to a point.
Okay.
It's a plan. It really depends on how you plan your calendar.
Right.
So everything has to be an appointment. Your hair is an appointment. Like going to the gym is an appointment. Everything's an appointment.
You're really good about your calendar. Like,
I try to
throwing
be.
stuff on your calendar.
I try to be.
Right. Like,
Sometimes I drop the
yeah.
ball and I'm like, oh, right, I have to be there in 5 minutes.
Right.
Somehow I make it. Sometimes I just happen to be in a place where I was supposed to have a meeting and I forgot.
Yeah, you
like
told me that when you're at Starbucks and you're like, oh, good, I'm here.
Yes. The universe had my back on that one. Big
Hi.
time.
I've been
So
waiting for this
crazy.
all morning.
Got here early.
It's hysterical.
But yeah, it's not, everyone thinks they're going to, not everyone. A lot of people think when they come into the industry, all they have to do is get their license, get some social media profiles up there for their new business, and then people are just going to like list their house with them.
Right.
Or the buyers are just going to ask them. And it's super competitive.
Yeah, there's a lot of agents.
There's a lot of agents. I forget what the most recent stats were, but they were like shocking.
Wow.
And then you start to realize, once you get your license, you realize that everybody is a realtor.
Well, there's a lot of agents, but there's also a lot of houses.
Sort of.
Sort of. Well, not right now.
In theory,
In theory,
yes.
yes, yeah.
New Jersey has a lot of homes, but they're not.
It would be better than selling in, like, Nebraska.
True. True. Although it sort of
Sorry,
feels like we are. Nothing on you.
Yeah, nothing on you.
Nothing on you.
We're the most, are we the most densely populated state?
Probably.
Here
It
we
feels
go with
like
facts
it.
again. I don't know. I have no idea.
We
I've
need-
heard that.
We need a fact
I don't know if
checker.
I'm making shit up. I don't know.
It's fine. It's all good. It sounds good. So just let's roll with it.
Right.
But no, I mean, once you do it, especially I think if you're a working mom, you have to let stuff go. I mean, I've had the past 2 years have been the busiest that I've had yet, and now as I'm entering into 2023, I'm even more like I'm busier, which I didn't think was possible. I'm calm about it, and I think that's because I've just let some things go.
Right.
Like if I have to leave my house in the morning, which I do most mornings now, and the dishes aren't all in the dishwasher, I'm letting it go.
Right.
I mean, if I can't see a friend, which is awful, but like I have to let it go because I'm trying to get my career to a place where I'll be able to enjoy these things in a few more years. I'll have some systems in place, I'll have a team in place, and I can have a little more free time. I do prioritize my family. But even them, they're like, why are you never here? And I'm like, I mean, I am here, but you're only seeing me when I have to pop out for a half hour to go show a property or, I have to go to a closing or networking. But it's for me, it's letting things go.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to have a homemade dinner every night. The air fryer, realtor's best friend.
Yeah.
Throw everything in there.
I saw a campaign recently this week from like P&G brand, so like Swiffer and Dawn, and it's called Closing the Chore Gap. And it's basically like
Tell me more.
Yeah, I know, it's interesting. I thought like I have to look into it a little bit more, but like from what I just kind of read in short, it is kind of holding like households accountable for like for chores for like around the house and not putting it on
us,
the caretaker, right? Whoever that is of the house, is usually it's just like kind of one person who's either like trying to delegate but not, and then just like and like we've advanced so much in the world with like with women in business and having all of these new like priorities and and things and dreams and goals and everything, but we're still like I'm always like
I feel like we'll always be the primary.
This. Right.
Yeah.
But I liked it because, I don't know if it's going to, it changes the conversation a little bit, which I thought I liked a little bit.
I have found with my boys, because they're gross, they're boys, but they'll clean their room. This morning, I had Aiden. He did breakfast. Granted, it was Cheerios in a bowl and juice for everybody, but he did it.
Right.
And then Liam made sandwiches for all three of them.
Good.
Because I had an 8 o'clock meeting, and I have to drop them off at school at 7:45. And I'm like, this is not, and I don't wake up at 5 a.m.
Right.
I just don't do it. It's
because
not
you
who
can't.
I am.
Like,
I don't
can't
want
either.
to. I just don't want to either.
Yeah.
Like, I'd much rather, like, sleep and feel good than,
and
like.
not feel, like, so drained.
Yeah.
Like, you're already drained. So
Then you're
why
shot out
feel
by
more
5 o'clock.
drained? I agree.
Yeah, I can't do it. So I'm like, let me get up at 6. I'll get what I can get done.
Yeah.
But I have to get myself ready. I have to get them ready. They can at least, so they take part in that. And they keep their room clean. We're working on laundry. Laundry is tough because I fold everything. It's all ready to go, and then they just like jam it into a drawer, and then it's like, why did I do that? Now everything's wrinkled.
Yeah.
So that's me. I need to let it go.
Yeah.
I'm the problem.
The sleep that you need a lot of sleep, right?
I feel like I need at least 8 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm very much. I mean, if I get 7.5, I'm like, okay.
They say women need more sleep than men.
Oh, yeah. And also, I read too, it's like less than 7, then like it's basically like you may as well just get 4 hours or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And this other thing that just came out, it's called, have you heard of the Aura Ring?
Yes, that's the one. It's like a ceramic band that you wear that does.
Technically it's like a Fitbit, but it's really not. It's more about like tracking your sleep. I don't have one, but I've been thinking about getting one. And it's mostly just this focus on like how sleep really like drives your health, drives like your focus, drives your clarity.
Definitely.
Like all of these different things, and also like how well you're sleeping. So it like tracks like your REM cycles and
how often you wake up.
But it also like tracks your exercise during the day. So it kind of is like a lot of different things. It's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
But and as the older I get, I just feel like the more, like, if I don't sleep well, and it's not even just about, like, the hours sometimes. It's, like, if the
quality.
The quality of the
sleep, definitely. Too, so. I wake up a million times to pee.
Yeah. I wake up a lot now, too. And I never used to. It's so annoying. God.
Getting hot at night. I don't like it.
Aging years.
Hormones.
Like, future me is going to listen back to this podcast when I'm, like, 55.
Future me is going to smack you.
But I'm like, you were 38, you idiot.
You had your whole life in front of you.
I'm so old.
I'm so old. My quality, you'll be sleeping like 3 hours a night then.
Yes, I will.
It'll be fine. Maybe they'll have a ring that can lull you back to sleep.
Oh.
Technology, right? 12. You got 12 years.
There's like so many ideas I've had that I'm like, I don't even know how the hell I would do that. So I hope that someone else
will do it. Just put it into the universe. I would really like to have this happen.
Right.
It'll be fine.
Please. Thank you. So you so your career has shaped you and changed in throughout COVID and brought you to now also hosting and owning a networking group. So tell us a little bit about that.
So my partner in that is Shannon Fasone from Smart Title.
Okay.
And she's awesome. We had met, which is another thing that's so weird. So we were connected through a mutual friend on Facebook that I had done business with when I was in interior design, and she, I think, had a high school connection to her, but don't quote me on that. So we meet at C'est La Vie in Red Bank for a late breakfast, and we're chatting, and we hit it off. She's a great girl. Well, you've met Shannon. And then we're putting dots together, and she knew my husband from like their 20s or our 20s, and her ex-boyfriend knew my husband, and like we just know all the same people.
Right.
So again, like the
Happens
world,
to you a lot.
it's crazy. It's so weird. So we decided after, I mean, it didn't like start immediately. Like she was looking to get, make a relationship for her title business. And after, a few months and us hanging out, it probably was almost close to a year. I had started going to different networking groups, and it just felt like, I don't know, like it was the same people showing up, and nobody was giving anybody business. Like nobody was really connecting, and I would talk to someone and they'd be like, oh, I have a realtor. And she would talk to someone and they'd be like, oh, we already have a title company. Like, and it was just very like, you're going to these things, you're paying to go to these events.
What's the point?
And there's like roadblocks. Like they're just kind of like, stop. Like, I don't need you.
Right.
But like, let's have a drink. Like
Right.
it was more like, all right, well, I'm going to have drinks. I'm going to go out with my friends. Like, but this is like, can't we like make relation? Like in my head, ideally, it would have been, let's just make some relationships,
Right.
get to know each other, and then eventually, if we're gelling and we have the same business philosophy, we're going to do business together. Or if we're not going to, I'm going to bring Kate. I'm going to introduce you to Kate because I think you two would really like be able to benefit from knowing each other.
Right.
So we had this conversation one day, and then it just like snowballed, and within a month we had our first event.
Wow.
And it was awesome. And we decided to keep it, sorry guys, I get a lot of flack for it, but we decided to keep it for just women, just because we think women tend to act differently when we're all just together and there's no male influence in the room.
Yeah. I've been to networking events where it was primarily men. And it's
a different vibe.
I was just thinking about this the other day, how I even wasn't really myself.
I know. I'm guilty of it too.
And I don't know why that is. And I'm not one to back down or be in a room where like I'm afraid to talk to someone or
Right.
I'm afraid to put myself out there. Or sometimes I am, but you have to do it anyway. But I just remember feeling like kind of intimidated and just like not comfortable. I don't know why that is.
I don't either. And I can't blame it on the men.
No.
I mean, it's not some of them, yeah, but most of them, no.
Right.
But I don't know why it is either.
Yeah.
I don't know if we just as women produce a different energy and we all can feed off of it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there have been women that have come to our groups and I've had to say, like, I don't know if this is the group for you because our philosophy is we want to collaborate together. So
Right.
I'm not looking to have one realtor, one attorney, it started off primarily, just for a little backstory, as a real estate group, but now it's just evolved into any woman in business that wants to come and collaborate and make relationships.
Right.
And then see where it takes you.
Yeah.
And it's really been so successful. People
Yeah.
and we've been connecting people.
Right.
So it's no longer about like Shannon and I deriving a business. It's more about just creating networks for people.
And you're really good so far at like different themes, right? So the one that you have coming
Well, it's
up
fun
is,
too. Manifesting.
I don't
the vision board.
The vision boards, and
Yeah.
that's really cool.
That'll be fun.
And you had the holiday one with different vendors.
The holiday
so that was
bazaar,
cool.
yeah, at the Women's Center. That was fun.
So there's, it's not just like cut and dry, like the past hors d'oeuvres and here's,
Oh
a
no, it's
cocktail
always
list,
there's
right?
always going to be, and as we're taking feedback from our attendees and our members.
Right.
So tell us what you want to do. We're going to do a wellness one where we have somebody come in that helps us with time management, somebody that talks about a morning manifestation and an evening manifestation,
Interesting.
and then a health coach.
Right.
So we want to bring value. Like we don't just want you to come and have cocktails and then not get anything out of it.
Yeah.
We'd like it to be a well-rounded experience where now you're sharing with a familiar group of women. They're bringing in friends, and we're all kind of connecting with different people.
Yeah. Because not only 2 points. One, being closed-minded in business, or I think anything in life in general, is toxic for you. And I think that if you think you know everything and you only want to, you're, one-track minded in terms of like where, who you can only work with or things you can only do, then you're really just hurting yourself. But, being open-minded and open to learning and, expanding, so many different things can lead you to opportunities that you wouldn't have even possibly dreamed of. And two, the opportunity to not only just like get out and network, but also like a lot of the time, like, you're much better at this than I am, but like getting out and like talking to people and, maybe it is work related, but it's also like very healthy to like, go learn something from someone that maybe wouldn't have necessarily been, in the path like of even encountering them, right? Like you're saying that you're having, different mentor, people or health coaches or whatever, just like different topics, right? And, that's the nice thing about this podcast too. Like I have guests on and I learn things every day. I'm like, wow,
it's
no
awesome.
idea. But, it's, if you, when I was in my younger 20s and I started in sales and hospitality and stuff. I was working for a catering company during the recession. It was like 2007. And this is before I got into wine, and I'd never worked in sales before. And the owner of the catering company asked me if I knew how to cold call. And I'm like, sure. I didn't know what the hell cold calling was. I was just like, yeah, that sounds good.
Sit outside on the phone?
Yeah, is it cold? So I quickly learned. So I learned a lot, and I just was calling people, and it was like brutal. People are hanging up on you. And
saying some choice words.
Yeah. And I was going to all these networking events because I was young, and I was a single mom at the time, so it was like the only time that I was able to like go out and like talk to other adults, and like I was working too, so I was getting paid for it, which was nice. But I just remember like putting like yourself out there and like like really like encountering all of these different people like from all different walks of life, and like it was interesting. So like you'd learn so much about like different different businesses, and like had I not done that,
different personalities,
how to talk to people. And there's like a lot to be said from like networking events.
I agree. I think it's very important.
Yeah. But it's important now too, like even if you're established within your career,
you have to keep going.
There was like a few people back then that, this is like, it wasn't
Don't
too long
age us.
ago. It wasn't too long ago, just a while ago. But there were people that came and they had established businesses, right?
Yep.
And I think they just felt like they didn't need to stop learning or growing or expanding their business. Just
I wonder where they are now.
And well, I know they still go. You know, like if I'm like connected with them on LinkedIn, or the handful of networking events that I've been to in the last few years. Sometimes they're still out there. Maybe they enjoy it, right? Maybe they just like talking to people, or see like just to see what will happen.
And they want to stay in front of people's faces. Yeah. I mean, in sales you have to.
But the biggest thing I think is showing up. Like that's really, that's so many different ways than sales especially, but like putting yourself in that environment.
Yep.
And then the kind of the rest will follow. But that's like the hardest part is like going,
I agree. There's so many times I'm like, oh my God, I just don't have it in me.
Right.
But then I know, because it's the same thing with like girls' night out. Like I can have girls' night out on the books for a month and be so excited when I first book it, and then like 3 days leading up to it, I'm like, I would love to stay in my sweatpants.
Right. And like I have nothing to
wear.
But
when you go, then you have fun. It's the same thing with these networking events.
Right.
You're gonna get out what you put in.
Right.
So if you're gonna go there and like have your drink and stand in the corner, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a drink in a corner.
Right.
But if you go there and you're like, I'm gonna meet 5 people tonight.
Right.
I mean, that's why we're there. Like, so many people I see, and I'm like, I have to go, like, drag them and pull them over and be like, this is what we do. You're not here to, like, hold up the wall. Yeah. Like, you're here to meet all these people, and they're all here. So go introduce yourself. They're expecting it.
Right. So the networking group is called
Turnkey Women's Alliance.
And that you can find their Instagram.
We're on Instagram at turn.key.women.
Okay.
We also have a Facebook page, it's all linked from there, and we have our little website, turnkeywomen'salliance.com.
And that'll have like upcoming events and stuff.
It has all of our events. We do like a lot of motivational posting on there. We try not to make it too cheesy, but we can't help it. It just is what it is. And we try to do our events the first of every month.
Okay.
So, but it doesn't always work out because nobody wants to go out on a Monday.
Right.
Or a Sunday.
Yeah. What are your favorite restaurants in Monmouth County?
That's a hard one. So we were just talking. I love B2. I love that polenta board. But the Red Bank location, that's the one I'm partial to.
Okay. B2 Bistro.
B2, yeah. What is it, on Bridge? Mm-hmm. And then I'm hooked on C'est La Vie for brunch. I love it. I love it.
It's very good there.
It is so good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the last place I went to with my girlfriends. Oh, the Black Swan.
Oh, in Asbury.
I cannot say enough good things about that restaurant. It's beautiful.
It's English, right? Like English, like bar.
Yes, food. And it's done up like a Parisian, like restaurant.
Oh.
The whole outside, it has all those roses and flower. It is so cool. They have a vault room for like a private dining party. They have giant tater tots, Kate. They're so good. Like, it shouldn't be that good.
Oh, wow.
Everything is delicious. They have a great cocktail menu.
Okay.
Nice wine list you would approve.
Yep. Love that.
We should go.
We should go. Put it on the calendar.
Put it on the calendar.
What about your kids? What do they like around town?
They're good. They love Brothers Pizza.
I love Brothers.
I do too. Thin crust.
Yeah.
You cannot take it you can take it to go. It's just not the same.
Well, we've done it a couple times. It is good, but yeah, I agree. It's just nice to go, and it's not expensive.
It's not expensive.
So it's like easy, and the kids love it.
Easy peasy. I'm trying to think of what else. They love Poncho, the taco place in Little Silver.
Oh,
I think the owners of Gianni's opened it.
And I think Nick Almost Home, or no? I'm not sure.
Maybe. Oh, yes. I think that they might all be partners together.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Their Birra taco is like...
So good.
And it comes with the jus. It's delicious.
Okay.
They love the walking tacos because they put the taco... It's disgusting. I mean, it's not disgusting. It's good. But, like, the concept blows my mind.
Yeah.
It's like in a Frito bag.
Oh.
And they dump the taco stuff in there.
That.
And the kids are like,
Oh, my gosh.
I'm like, healthy living in 2023.
I'm going to feed you this one because we probably should mention how you get to feed dinners at home from...
Oh, the Blonde Chalet. Oh, yes. So she is my go-to grab and go. I actually just saw Jess the other day. I ran in. I'm like, I've been so busy. I literally haven't even had time to come in here. I hadn't been in it like 3 weeks, which I think... I'm surprised she didn't put out like a missing person alert on me because I'm in there all the time. But she has the best SpaghettiOs. I think that's all I talk about. I don't know if they're on the menu right now, but
the salads are just incredible.
The salads are ridiculous.
They're
her
so
soups.
I
I got her chicken and rice soup last week. Ridiculous.
My favorite is the Thai chicken noodle that she
Yes,
does.
the spicy. We talk about it all the time.
Oh, it's so good.
It like clears out your sinuses. It is delicious.
And it's hard to get like good soups to go. I feel like a lot of them are just like I'd rather make it.
Same.
They're just like not
not
good.
hers though.
But hers are
the
very
gazpacho in the summer.
Yeah. And it's just the best because it's like grab and go, and it's healthy, and the
kids love it too.
Kids love it, and there's options for
kids. The pretzel breaded chicken nuggets
I've
with
gotten
her honey mustard.
Oh, I know, I could drink it. It's ridiculous.
I think I may have.
It's
so good.
And the only reason I don't go often is just because it's not close to me. But I do look at her menu every week, and I'm like,
but it's saving you hundreds of dollars.
But I mean, the grocery store.
And she has benchmark breads in there too.
I know.
Shout out to them. That is like
it's legit.
Unbelievable.
It is legit.
So all of it. I'm trying to think of. I love the Chinese chicken salad.
Oh, I've had that many times.
The Jenna Lyons one.
Yeah,
that one's good.
That one I've had too. Yeah, last year
the
I
Veganista.
was spending a lot of time there.
I love the Veganista.
Yeah,
I love them all. I could talk salads.
About
yes.
Blonde Chalet.
Yes, go see her. She's on Prospect in Little Silver.
Yes.
Yes, you have to go. Grab and go only.
Yes, and during the week, right? She's not open, or is she open on weekends?
I think she's open on the weekends now. In the summer, I think she might. Actually, don't quote me on any of that.
have no idea.
Just go see Jess. Tell her we sent you. You won't be disappointed. It's so good.
So thank you so much for coming on today.
I'm so happy we made it happen.
Where can, if someone is looking to buy a house, to sell a house, to get some, just information about the real estate market in Monmouth County, where can they find you?
They can find me online at realtorstacyd.com. I'm on Instagram as sold_by_Stacey D. And then my Facebook, which is kind of defunct, is Monmouth County, New Jersey Realtor Stacey Donadio.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.